Hey friends, and welcome back to the Reddit Rainbow. Y'all, I've come across two stories now of fathers just treating their daughters like complete garbage. What is going on with y'all? Like, why are y'all treating your daughters badly? Like, it's y'all's fault you got daughters in the first place. Like, did y'all go to biology class? Because I did. Anyway. Okay, guys, grab your vibes and delights. I'm going to read two stories to you guys, okay? The first one is called, My Sister's Husband Wants to Cheat on Her and My Dad is Encouraging It. Grab your vibes and delights and let's jump in, because what the fuck? So, I love my sister, 23 female. She's the oldest and has always taken care of us, our studies, the house, the chores, the cooking. She's parentified. Okay. I should start this off by mentioning we live in a religious traditional household. So my sister was married off pretty early, 18. A guy asked for her hand in marriage and she accepted. We asked people about him, her husband, and they said he was a great man, a good husband, etc. They always say that in religious environments. I remember not wanting her to get married and leave, but my dad wouldn't let me tell her to do that since it might affect her decision and she shouldn't pass up the chance with a good man. We had a small ceremony. My dad's never been a fan of huge parties because he thinks they're a bother and thinks big weddings are a waste. That tells me so much right there. And she left to live with him shortly after that. They seemed like a really happy couple. My sister lives pretty far from us, so she rarely comes around to visit anymore. I miss her a lot, honestly. Anyway, my sister had 4 children in the past 5 years. Are y'all Mormons? I'm feeling Mormon here. All 4 are girls, and they are so adorable, just absolute angels. Her most recent 2 were a pair of twins. I love them, but as far as I heard, the pregnancy was extremely hard on her body, and doctors said it would be a bad idea to have more children. All my sister's pregnancies were really rough. She would vomit and be so sleepless, and she would fall over a lot, and everything was really concerning. She would pass out in random places, and would seem like she was losing her mind at times. So usually she'd be stuck in bed for the last 4 months of her pregnancy, I think. And yet he still can... So your sister was actively like having true psychotic breakdowns and your family was... And she still continued to have more children. Like... That's blowing my mind right now. During her pregnancy, the house was so dirty. Her husband was a provider and she hasn't gotten around to finishing her education yet. So for now, she's just a housewife. But at the time, she couldn't really clean the house. And my sister can't stomach anything if the house is dirty. So she feels dirty herself. Now, my dad and sister never got along at all. But he's always been very sweet and caring to the rest of us, me and my siblings. I feel like that was meant to be like uplifting, but it really just made it worse. Anyway, he said like, now my dad and sister never got along, but he's always been really nice and caring to the rest of us. That's what that read to me. Like that was like really backhanded. Anyway, he said that she was disrespectful and spoiled. She was an expensive child to care for. She was always pretty sick and we never figured out exactly what was wrong, but the hospital visits and medicine was so expensive. Her clothing, school, just everything in general was so expensive to my dad. When she got married, it was her husband's duty to provide, so my dad always made comments about how his bank account finally caught a break. That was really hard to read, I'm not gonna lie, but I think I got it though, and also your dad sounds like a really horrible person. Anyway, recently she came over for a visit with her daughters. I haven't seen her in months, so I was beyond overjoyed, but she was a bit tired due to the travel, so she went inside to sleep with the babies. While I was sitting around with the family, I heard her husband say a joke about how he might as well have a son from another woman since his wife wasn't, I can't even, since his wife isn't going to be giving him one. That's not how biology works. But as someone who these people have to be Mormon, which means that they're not really looking at science. This is crazy. Why are you blaming her when it is your fault? fault. And really, to be honest, it's no one's fault. Like, people are so crazy. Y'all are weird. Anyway, and my dad said that maybe he should go for it since my sister was pretty forgiving and she wouldn't be mad for long. What the fuck? They they continued the conversation, but I just couldn't handle it. I feel sick to my stomach. My sister has been sick for over a month now and just constantly in and out of hospitals, and I really can't bring myself to tell her. Over the last while, this joke has been brought up a lot, and my dad continues encouraging it. I feel awful. I mentioned it to him, but he said that I'd only understand as a father without a son. But I feel like I don't have to get that point to see that this isn't really a joke to make, especially not at a time like this. Correct. When I told him that they're not a good fit for each other, they should divorce instead of him cheating, my father asked if I'd rather have my sister alone with no one to provide for the $4. And I want to tell my sister, but I can't bring myself to. I am so sorry. I don't know how old you are, but you need to tell your sister, because they're about to set her up for a life of pain. Like, obviously, like, the system is built against us, but I'm just saying, like, as a mom, I don't see how they wouldn't be able to help her, like, get support, get child support, but at the same time, they can find in her favor, and whether or not he decides to do the thing is the other problem. And if he is court ordered to pay child support and he doesn't, I hope they take his ass to jail. I hope they do. And everybody in the comment section was saying the same thing I was. It's like, the father's sperm determines the gender of the baby. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, all right, guys, I have one more story that's really similar. Just another father just being disgusting to a daughter. Anyway, if you're seeing this story, just know that I'll be back here shortly with another. Mwah!